You're listening to Living Out Loud with my mom, Michelle Flamer. Yep, she's a flamer and proud of it. Get ready to learn about queers in your communities doing great things every week.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming back to Living Out Loud. I am super jazzed with my wonderful local guest today. And I'm just honored to sit with someone who's literally her fire, her vision and leadership have helped shape queer and women's sports culture here in my home, my little sweet town of Phoenix. Audrey Corley. Audrey, you've created Boycott Bar, a pivotal home for lesbian nightlife in the city. And now you're co-founding Title IX Sports Bar, a women's first sports venue that reimagines the game. And it's a first for Arizona. And we always remember our first.
Oh, don't we? I'm sure you remember your first. I have a couple firsts.
Thank you so much for being here. I mean, I not only come into the bar, right, into Boycott, and now I really love coming into Title IX. I bring friends in, and we just love having this like fresh space to hang out in, and also still build community, be supportive of you, and Kat, of course, and just grow and just enjoy like some safety, while having fun.
Well, I think it's all about creating that environment right for our community. And thank you for having me on the show today. Super honored to be here too as well. And I love doing these things like that. Anything that gets our word out for the community and our voice heard. I think it's important times for us to use our voice for positive
Absolutely.
right now. But also I just wanted to throw in there too. We left Dahlia Tapas Tequila and Wine out. That's my that's my restaurant, my other restaurant, my upscale restaurant over there.
Oh, I totally left
It's
it out.
it
Sorry
totally left
about
my
that.
elevated dining concept out. You got to throw that in because the queers love that space too. Okay.
Absolutely. And I'll come in. I have not even
You haven't
visited
tried it
that.
yet?
No,
Oh
I
my
haven't
goodness.
tried it. All right. Well,
Mm.
I'll definitely come in. I got my
You-
friends and
You're
we'll
about to
go
have a
over.
new favorite restaurant in Phoenix.
Oh, well, I can't wait because Fez went out and I
Ah,
really
yeah.
enjoyed Fez for so long. And it's just
That's had a
sad.
good run, solid run for the
A
community.
solid run. Absolutely. I never actually heard anything
I
bad.
think
So
Mark Howard and them did a great job with that. And I think, a lot of times when you sell something like that and it's so tied to who you are and the community, it's hard to duplicate that for an owner coming in. So.
it is. It is. I mean, yeah, there's not a lot of times where you can really take over and make it
Mm-mm.
your own. It's so hard because the community has already said, this is how we want it. So
Well, and this is our space, and that's hard. I think people find that even in the bar game too, when you try and do it.
absolutely. So I usually ask my guests, especially because they're all queer, and so coming out is a part of that aspect. So before we go into like the crux of all of like what you're doing right now in the community, let's go back. Let's go way back, baby. I came out at
What
19, so I know, how old were you when you first
when I first
realized?
first came out, I believe I was 21, and I was playing college basketball at Phoenix College, and I had this big crush on this girl that worked in the locker room. Her name was Lori, and I was getting all these feelings, but I really didn't come out until my first relationship after that. Was a woman named Simon, and I was kind of just like telling my mom. I was at the table, and people, I mean, I'm what my partner now likes to say, I'm a gay a mile away. So, I looked the part then, and as a basketball player, everyone probably
I have
thought
the
that,
same, I have that
you
same,
know,
I have that same, it's not a problem, but
it's
it's
not a
like
problem, but the same thing,
basically
right?
yeah, we're lesbian visibility day every day.
Every day we rep that, especially now more so than ever. But I think back
Exactly.
then, I was an athlete and I was at school, and I remember sitting at the table one time, and my mom just made dinner, and my girlfriend was at the time was over, and she was like, and they kind of been throwing little hints, and finally I was just like, yeah, mom, she's my girlfriend. That's cool, whatever. And went about our day, and that was it. And I mean, it's kind of the story. It wasn't no big thing. I think because people always kind of expected it from me, probably before I even knew it for myself. There's
Yeah,
always
that's
that
how it
to
was for
yourself.
me too.
Pretty
Um, I-
easy.
yeah, no, that's fantastic. So let's go back to like the earliest spark of boycott.
Mhm.
What were you doing prior to to getting into boycott and sort of starting to build this life for yourself?
So since you're a local and you probably remember E Lounge, I was working at the E Lounge and helped Shannon and Christy kind of build that and make it what it was. And then we ended up parting ways. And at that time, I was like, well, I helped build one of the best lesbian bars in town. Now, where am I going to go out and meet women? So I was kind of like, what am I going to do with all this? And at the time, it was right before they made it non-smoking, and I was having a hard time breathing in these clubs, and
Yeah.
like, because I've worked behind the bar as well. I've always been a bartender by trade, so I was working behind the bar, and then I was like, where am I going to go now? So in college, when I was in college, as an athlete, there was one of the guys on the boys team who was like, it'd be a funny name for a lesbian bar was Boycott. And I was like, one day I'm going to own that. So fast
I love
forward
it.
all those years later, when it came to opportunity, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start that party and do it once a month. Then it turned into twice a month, and then it turned into an event. And I wanted some at that time. There wasn't anything very elevated for us, or I wanted something a little nicer than the typical scene that was out there. So
Yeah.
wanted to be more event oriented, and I wanted it also to be non-smoking. Well, then literally 2 months after the first one, I think they made the rule where there was no more smoking in the bars, which was a
Mhm.
gift, right? Because
Totally. It was so nice not going home
oh,
smelling like
you smell
freaking
like an
cigarette.
ashtray. When you went
I,
into Ain't Nobody's Biz back in the day, you had to
oh,
leave your clothes outside.
the cash too was
Oh,
horrible
I
back in
mean,
the
all of them,
day.
right?
Yeah, and I am not a smoker, so going to Vegas for like trade shows and shit, I would be walking through the casino and I just would be like, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
disgusting.
This guy, well, they thought I was, when I went to the doctor, he actually was like, it looks like you smoke 2 packs of cigarette a day. And I was like, I don't smoke at all. And he goes, let me guess, you're a bartender. And I was like, yep. And at
So
that
you
time,
were
it was
getting
like,
like a black lung just from being in the
it was
bar from
so
working.
disgusting. Yes.
So crazy. So
Yeah.
crazy. So then what happened? You
It started as a party and it went into like I would throw these parties. It started at a place where where Hula's is on 7th Street now. And it
yeah.
started at a place that was then at the time called Black Asoli. And the BZ girl and I went in and I just made friends, kind of like I always do. And I was like, hey, how's business? And they're like, it's up and down. We're just starting. I was like, I want to bring this event here. I think it's in the right, you have the right space and it's in the right neighborhood area where I want to be. And they were kind of like, well, we'll give you a shot. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring some friends out, maybe 100 people.
Yeah.
And that night we had like 452 people come out. And I was like, whoa, we got something special here, like there's a need for it. I think, for me, it's always been filling that need in the community, that whatever is needed at that time, and at that
Yeah.
time, we really wanted something different. And so it was easy to create Boycott because it was pre like internet. What was kind of going on at that time was you had MySpace, but we promoted with little business cards, one person at a time, like
That's
literally in different spaces. We would hand out these business cards and be like, "We're having this event," and it was just basically a little flyer, and it was a
I
business
love how
card.
grassroots that is.
It was so grassroots, but honestly, it kind of, I look back and there were so many different people who helped build things along the way. Like, I'm very grateful for the teams and the people that I've done it with because it's not just me. It takes so many people to make all these beautiful things happen.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just been a process. I watch people grow up in the business. I watch
Hmm.
people die. I've lost people. I watch people get married.
Hmm.
There's just been so many progressions of life through this industry.
Do you feel like a responsibility now? I mean, because
I
it's
did
like
it
there's
pre
literally yeah,
yes,
you
I
have I
did
mean
it
you
pre
have
lesbian
to.
bar project. I thought I was just, whatever. But after the lesbian bar project came out during COVID and all that, yeah, I almost feel like it's my responsibility to keep it open and keep it going. And people always ask me, why isn't there more? And I'm like, there's a lot of reasons. It's not easy. It
Yeah.
by far, like it's not the easiest job just keeping the lesbian bar open.
Yeah, I mean, look what's happening to Ruby Fruit right now in LA. They're
Yeah,
about to close. It's really sad.
well, and those are all things. Anytime a bar closes, and I always tell people like I think we'll change into more queer spaces as because the younger generation seems to be getting it right.
So fluid.
Right. So I think for us it's a little different, and there's an age gap that's different. But for me, I
True.
try to tell the people that work with me and that my legacy will be that I want it to continue after I'm gone. And hopefully I have the people around me who wants that same vision, right? Because we put a lot of love and you dedicate your life to these spaces. And I don't think people realize what goes on into it. It's not like a business you clock in and you go to work 9 to 5. This is something
Right.
that is who we are 24 hours a day.
Yeah. Do you find it challenging to constantly sort of reinvent Boycott because there's such a love, like it's like the spectrum of feelings when you mention Boycott, right? And it really like just
Everything.
depends on what night they ended up showing up, and we're hoping for a party, and it was like a chill night because
Right.
there is
Yeah.
quieter nights too. I mean, it's
Well, I
not
mean,
constant
there's
parties,
quieter nights everywhere, right? Like you think about it,
Right.
like if it was up to me, I would have kept it like my vision is, if you know me, I'm always like club. I want something to be open 4 nights a week and be done and have my other three. But where Boycott is in the location, you can't do that because it's in Melrose.
Yeah.
If I was off a space that it was, I would probably just be open literally 3 nights a week and knock it all out in those 3 nights a week
Yeah,
and
kind of
and do
like so I grew up in LA,
girl bar.
and yep, Girl Bar was just like that, just
Mhm.
2 nights a week, and then you had the
Actually,
Palms, which
I
was
I built Boycott off of because the girl bar came here and I went to an event and I was like, oh, I could do
I
that.
love Robin.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. And I was like, I
Yep.
could do that. So I think when you look at some of the inspiration for Boycott, I mean, Robin and them had and they were beautiful and they had this whole little
It was
swag
so
about them at the
LA. It
table.
was
Yeah,
so LA.
it was so LA coming to Phoenix.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
you're not wrong.
And no, I know. And then, I mean, I grew up in at the Palms, in LA in West Hollywood, Santa
Hmm.
Monica Boulevard. And when it closed, I was so sad. But Boycott still has that great edge to it in so many ways. And the other thing is, the fact is you do keep it open so often because it is a neighborhood bar. And that's
Well,
a
that's what we
difference.
have a great neighborhood too. I think that's what people don't realize too, that
Yeah.
the Melrose community is a unique neighborhood. So
Yeah.
we've established ourselves just not as a lesbian bar, but as a safe space for our community.
Yeah, I was
We
so
show up.
happy when Title IX was lit. It's literally like you can bar hop actually here in Phoenix again. It's kind of crazy. Like you can literally park once and be at 3 to 4 different
Well,
bars.
that was the whole vision of why it was so important to get this location for me. Like
Yeah,
honestly, that
it's
played
such
a
a
big
great,
part.
I know it's such a great location. There's tons of cool articles on Title IX, and I love the fact that it's like when you and Kat Moore, will say, because I want to make sure her name, is out there so people can learn about her, decided to launch the bar. You weren't just opening up like another a sports bar. You were really honoring the history of women's athletics and off of Title IX, which was a really big deal. I'm also a longtime athlete. I was a collegiate athlete. I was all Western State Conference tennis.
Hey, I
I
love that.
know, and it's the softball girls who got me to the bar. So, um, so like
Always damn softball girls that party.
I know. So was there like a big leap going from like the nightlife kind of bar to like
Uh,
the sports hospitality? Like, was there a
well,
learning curve for you?
I think the learning curve is just the time schedule, right? Because I'm such an active person in my businesses
Yeah.
that for me, I'm a night owl by trade. I've been doing Boycott 21 years and I've been a bartender for 30 years, 30 something years. So
Yeah.
it was one of the things that I'm not really a morning person and everybody knows this. And of course, when you own a sports bar, the weekends, there's 10 o'clock events. You're
That's
open here
right.
early. And I was like, I think that part of it I kind of forgot and didn't put into play. But, for me, it's always been something I wanted to do. And when it came about, like the opportunity just worked out with Kat and them because they had the space. But it was something that I was planning on doing for about 3 to 4 years. So,
I was even looking at like the other thing is like in Atlanta, I really love their second Friday. And I
mhm.
thought, God, you would be the perfect person to like create like a second Friday here
So
where
it's funny you
one,
say that because you know
I,
how we do our U-Haul party.
yes,
Are you familiar with Denver does that big women's party and it's like the big
yes.
thing on the first Friday. They call it First Fridays, I believe.
Yeah, they call it First Friday. Exactly.
And for me, that's how I want to take our U-Haul party and that's what I want to do, kind of create that vibe here. And that's crazy because literally it must be the universe telling me that that's what I need to do.
You do need to do it. And I'm
It's
happy to volunteer anytime.
well, good. You could. That's how we're gonna go because it's a big party and I need a little more space.
Yep.
But I want to do something like that with Boycott and kind of continue that and create that because that thing does like 2,000 people when they do it. It's huge. I've never been, but
It's
I've heard about it and kind of
It's
read about
massive. I have so many friends who live there and they absolutely love it. And because it feels like a garden party in a sense, because you're
it. Hmm.
outside typically. We're lucky with our weather here, whereas a lot of other places aren't quite as fortunate. But So no, I'm super excited if you do that. And it's just awesome. And I know you have like, to leap into sort of how right now, why do you think the women's instead of like a women's true bar like Boycott, why do you think these like sports bars are popping up right now? And why do you think that they're actually so popular and it's great?
Well, I mean, it's a movement if when you really think about it, it's a movement because it's not just about lesbian space, right? Like when you look at bars such as Boys Cut, those are more geared towards women and just that. This is geared towards women's sports. And not just women support that. There's men who support it, there's
Yeah,
kids who support it. It broadens your whole horizon to open up a market for everybody,
I
which is a
agree.
little different than Boycott. Like when I tell people, oh, I own the lesbian bar, not everybody's coming.
Yeah,
It limits my demographics to about what, 10%, 8%, I think it is in the gay community.
yeah,
But when I tell everyone, I own the women's sports bar, you come watch women's sports, that was demographics for everybody, except
yeah,
assholes. If you're an asshole, you just can't come in. But like
totally.
that's just it opens up. Same with my elevated dining concept. Everybody comes there. But when you have a limited market, that's why there's not 10 or 15 lesbian bars. We wouldn't survive.
That's right. Yeah, it becomes so nichey. When
Hmm.
I wear my boycott t-shirt, especially my big strap energy, the one
Mm.
I love everyone, I get the best. It's like the
I gotta
best
trademark that.
conversation
You know that,
starter.
right? I gotta trademark that. I've been wanting to
You
sell those for.
do.
I
It's
know.
it's so good. And so when I'm wearing it like anywhere, like I'll wear it like when I travel or whatever, and I'll just put it on and I sometimes I forget that it's on there and
Ah,
it's usually a guy who comes up to me, because of course he sees that I'm
yeah.
pretty,
He
and
gets
we
it.
just have the best conversation about it. And so I'm just a fan. So it's awesome. The other side of like, from your coaching background to owning multiple venues, what lessons in leadership and mentorship or team building sort of carry through to, because like you said earlier, it's not just you, it takes a village.
Oh, it does.
So
So many
so
people.
what's your leadership style, or what do you find that really helps you in leading from the front, and
I I think that the biggest issue is if you know me, I'm not afraid to be who I am. I live
yeah,
my truth, and I encourage everybody to do that. And so I try to build the teams around people that I would want to be around, right? Like there's people that I put in these situations, but the hardest part for me and probably the most challenging is the coach in me wants to coach him through things when that's
mm-hmm,
not always what's best for your business.
mm-hmm,
The heart in me wants to say, no, I grow and we go with you. But sometimes in a business sense, I don't have that opportunity because some things really are that serious that I can't coach you through it. I just have to part ways. And I
yeah.
think that's been like the hardest thing for me because, I'm a big softie. I know everybody doesn't think that, but really, if you know me, you know that I am.
Yeah. I mean, you're always a welcome, warm smile when
Well,
whenever I
that's
see
not what
you.
people tell me all the time. They're just like, you have RB, what is it, RBF? And I'm like, I don't feel that, but I'm focused,
I
and
don't think you have a resting bitch face at all.
thank you, baby. Thank you. So,
Yeah. I
I get
really,
that a lot, but I'm like, I'm really just, for me, it's about energy and being around people, I get to live my dream and most people don't get to do that. So
hmm
for me, it's kind of easy. Like I get up, I get to do what I do. So interacting with people is a plus. It's all the technical things and the part like, I hate the paperwork side of it. It's not really my vibe, but
Yeah,
stuff that has to be done.
I know. So do you find that you're in every aspect, or are you starting to slowly delegate?
I am starting to slowly delegate and learn
That's
that
good.
things have to be for me to be at the growth level that I want. Because I don't want to just be in Arizona. I actually kind of want to expand out. Like one of my concepts, either it be Dahlia that I expand out,
Yeah,
or it be Boycott. I think there's opportunities. I don't think you'll see as many lesbian bars popping up in the future.
I don't
I
either.
think you'll see the decline in those.
I think you're onto something with these other concepts,
Yes.
obviously. That's what we're talking about, like the higher end date nights and, family dinners and,
Yeah.
and really creating something special out of the higher end. And then you have the sports bar, which would you put one of these down in Tucson? Do you think it would do okay?
That is on my list. It
Yeah.
is on my list. Maybe, I would love to do
They're
something
dead.
like that.
They need it desperate. I even think their gay pride got canceled this year.
Yeah, they had a rough time. I don't know what's going on down there. I definitely think. I'd have to do some research into demographics and things. And, right now, time-wise, I can't do anything but figure out what I have on my plate right now for the next
Course.
year.
Yeah. So
Um,
you're talking like a 3 to 5 year plan,
I'm
looking at
talking,
another
well, if you know
location.
me, I would like to say 3 to 5 years. So that means a year and two. It's very lesbian times. It's
Okay.
like dating, right?
We'll say
It's very
three to
New
take
Holland.
pressure off, right? We'll say
Yeah.
3 years for the pressure to be off. And then of course it'll be like, Audrey announces, here's the next
Here's the next
location.
something going that crane created, right? You
I
never
love
know.
it.
You
So
never know what'll
putting
pop up.
so kind of leading into that, putting yourself in that future for a moment, what is your hope for the next generation of queer-owned spaces and women-led businesses in Phoenix? And I know we were speaking a little bit about your legacy before, but maybe expand on that as well.
I think that, I would like to say that it's about bars and businesses, but it's not. I think right now at this point in the world, and you look at what's going on, I think our basic human rights are being attacked and the way we live. And so I think there could be a little more focus on how we spread that knowledge and to each other, and maybe try and be a space that helps people get that word out and do things to get more active and more involved, right? And even myself
Yeah.
getting a little more involved because I do have a platform, and I believe when you have a platform, you have to use it right.
Yeah.
And for us right now, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of this shit. Tired of the
Well,
immigration, and I'm tired about the things that are going on in our community and just the way we are mistreated as far as for just loving somebody. It's
Oh,
crazy.
I know it is fucking crazy. I do think there is a beautiful space for you though to create an educational platform or bringing people in to speak and say, "Hey, we're going to talk about what it means to vote next year." Like
Mhm.
even take it to the basics where really knowledge is power, and there are a lot of people where they unless you're really, really into politics, it's hard to understand what all the nuances mean. And a lot of people sometimes get nervous about saying, I don't really know what that means, you
Well,
know?
no, even myself, that's not, I mean, I have a degree and things like that. I went to college, but it wasn't ever my focus. I'm a sports girl, I'm over
Yeah.
here wanting to coach basketball and things like that. And it was kind of like, oh, you don't worry about things, but not all those things we have to worry about. They affect everyday life for us now. So it's a little different. My partner, she's very involved in all the world things going on. And, she's very educated. And I have a couple good friends who are very involved. And one of
That's
them,
awesome.
Lauren, who's always kind of talking about your rights. And, I think people just don't see the urgency, right? I
Yeah.
think people just think that it's going to be okay and it's all going to work out until you wake up one day and we have this crazy lunatic as our president. And you're like, wait, what? Now we're hearing all these things happen. I think so many people were on that mindset, right?
Yeah,
But
I think so.
that's not the case now. We have to be more
No.
involved. We have to get more educated. We have to organize, and we have to realize that when you organize, then you got to stand for something.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's about being a motivator, which is always going back to coach at heart, and bringing people, but just standing for my community is very important and giving a safe space. When I say safe space, I mean, you can come in there like we did the toy drive, we did the food drive, we got the toy drive
Hmm.
coming up, but we did the food drive and just opening our hearts and our doors to our community more and having that dialogue about, hey, look, how do we change the world? Yeah,
Yep.
I always say when I wake up, everyone's like, "What are you gonna do today?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go change the world one drink at a time." But
Exactly.
it's really one person and one interaction at the time.
It is, and that's what I say to the people who are now finding my podcast. It's really interesting because they're like, there's so many people to talk to, and I go, yeah, I can't get overwhelmed with that because all I can do is focus on the one conversation that I'm having for that time that I'm having it, and then you go to the next person, and like you said, like you're opening your doors for one event at a time, for one doing good at a time, for one community thing, whatever it is, or for, some type of awesome sport event, like
You,
World
ju- you just
Series
never
or,
know. I've done baby showers, weddings, funerals.
well,
We've
that's
had a space.
awesome.
Yeah, we've had a space for everything there because really I think when you look at a bar, it's a place, it's a building. You put energy in it, you bring people, and you bring whatever you want in there, and that's what you fill it with. And you fill it with love, and it all comes together because for a lot of people, these spaces are their only community that they get. they go and live in their world and they have one identity and they live out there and they don't
Yeah.
necessarily.
You're right.
This is some of the only community that they get to be their true self. So I think it's very important.
Did you ever have a chance to go to the Connection in Culver City back in the heyday, like
No,
late 80s, early 90s? So that's where I
no.
came out in this little quiet dive bar in Culver City, California. And it was managed by a woman who was literally like 6'3". She was massive. And but she was like you, like a total gentle softie on the inside. And when the new kids came in, like were new out and, didn't have even a license to drink yet, she was still there saying, baby, I've got you, whatever you need,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I think it's so important and so valid. Is there ever any, like, did you ever, because I lived in Oregon for about 11 years too, and then came back here in 2021, but did you guys ever do any under 21 kind of like youth,
So
nights where you don't serve
I don't
alcohol?
touch those because I used to always I come from the philosophy that when you do those, your business is dying, right?
Gotcha.
You do that. But I have recently thought about doing some things in a different sense, that it's not necessarily about profiting. It's just about
Right.
having like a sober space, and maybe I
Yeah.
do it so they can do underage. And maybe
Even
I
like a
just talk.
youth prom or something
Right,
that are kind of
and
going
I just
around.
because I do get like that 18 up, and maybe do a cover that day, But it's so hard because people that do that, they want to come out on the weekends. So maybe I do like a mid Sunday or something and do something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and close the space because I do think it's important to kind of teach.
Uh-huh.
I get a lot of the kids that come to there, and sometimes I feel like I have 1,000 kids,
Yeah.
because but yeah, I have really toyed with that idea. I just have been in play because I've been so busy with the sports bar and the restaurant that I really can focus and say, let's create this. But it is something we go into our meeting for the next year to start our programming for next year,
I love it.
next week, and it's something I am toying with.
I love that. So you guys actually sit down and plan out pretty much, is it 6 months out or is
We
it
do
like the
six
whole?
months. I tried. I have an overall year, but
That's
we knock
cool.
out 6 months, and then we even narrow it fine down to like our 3 months and our 2 months,
That's
because
so
you don't really know
smart.
what else you're gonna get in the year. Like people reach
Right.
out, they want to do events, but yeah, I started doing a little more because I think with a little more foresight, we can be a little more organized.
You mean if you're prepared, then you will succeed, right? You will
The
succeed through
coach in me will tell
preparation.
you the 5 P's: proper preparation prevents poor performance. So,
I love it.
um,
Other than drinking out of a
sometimes,
water hose, it's good to be prepared.
yeah, like we grew up in that same time. So, I mean, I come from tough coaches. The people that I coached under and coached with we were from that day and age. It's a different time and age in the world right now.
Very, very different. But I really do like your the way that you're being so mindful and intentional in how you're working these spaces and also um kind of rethinking your business and just being able to be nimble and pivot because you don't have a board of directors. You don't like it's just you. But also if shit happens, it's also just you, right? But
Well, that's the funny part sometimes. I see it's always disheartening when you see your queer community criticizing the things you do, right? And I don't say you gotta like me, but I hope that I've earned the respect because I do go hard for our community. And sometimes we see things online and we see things about boycott, and I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like back in the day, they would have been like, get the fuck out of here. But
mhm,
difference, it took some therapy. It took a lot of things of me learning different ways how to process things. And
that's good.
I'm not a perfect human, nor is
No.
boycott a perfect space.
Yeah,
We are a space that comes from love, and so we do the best we can, and that's pretty much what my team does. So
I
I don't know,
agree. I think
I think it's hard. Like it's definitely, you're right. There's a lot of
no,
pressure.
hey, any of the hater or naysayers who might hear this, like, go walk a little mile in her freaking shoes tomorrow, and you'll be speaking a different story the next day.
Well, it was funny because I have a very nice vehicle. I bought this last year, right? And
Yeah,
I remember someone came up to me and was like, "Oh, they were mad that that was my vehicle," and I was like, "Am I not supposed to have nice things?" Like
right.
I was like, I bought this after 20. It was for my 20-year anniversary gift to myself, of 20 years of
Well,
boycott.
yeah,
And I think they just see the now and they don't know that there was nights there was nobody. And there's still nights sometimes that, every night is not a win. I don't think
that's
they
right.
understand the stress that goes into it or the things that we have to do to sometimes keep the doors open.
I know.
You know, and
And that's,
everybody wants to tell you, they want to criticize until you're gone. It's like when you die. Everybody can hate you, and but then when you die, you're this greatest person. No, I'm going to be who I am in life and in death.
yeah.
So I don't believe in, doing all that. I believe in living true and being the best person I can be right now.
Which kind of leads me into like, yeah, what does living out loud mean for you, right? It's kind of what you just said in that essence.
I'm never afraid to be who I am.
Yeah.
When I walk into a room, you know who I am.
Hmm.
And you know that if I love someone, they're right there by my side and they're with me. And I'll be the same person with my family. I'll be the same person with my friends. I pretty much have a dress code. I wear a boycott shirt and jeans everywhere, and people probably think I don't have clothes, but this is intentional. I brand myself so because it's not just a business. And for a lot of people, a lot of things are, but it's not. It's bigger than just a business. Boycott is a brand. It is something that stands for something, and the people who have worked there believe in that just as much as I do. So
Heck yeah.
it's a way of life for me.
I know. I mean, I love when people have ideas for bars and stuff, and I'm like, go work at one for, a spell. Just go
Mm,
work at one. You might fall in love with it, just like, when you have somebody who's a line cook and they're like, I want to go to chef school, I
yeah,
want to go to
yeah.
culinary school, and then they come
That
out and be,
happens very rare, just so you know. Like
yeah.
I've had people tell me, here's my favorite line, and my best friend Nikki, who's been with me like 20 years now at Boycott, will tell you all the time they want to come tell you what you should do, bar, how you run a bar, and I go, do you own a bar? And they go, no. I go, have you ever worked in a bar? Well, I might have, but no. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, so what do you do for a living? And they tell me, and then I start telling them how to do that. And I go, and I never even worked in your industry. And and it blows their mind. Or I'm like, and you just see it, they're like blown away and they look at me crazy. Or like when they tell me that everything should be free and I should buy them things and why am I charging and it should be a free drink? And I go, what do you do for a living? They tell me, I go, cool. I'm gonna be over there and come get everything I need. And they look at me like just mind blown.
Exactly. Like, hey, you got that stapler in the back? I'm gonna come grab
I'm
that
gonna I'm
off
gonna
your
come get all your
desk.
staples and take it to my house. And they're like,
It's so
huh?
stupid. It
Yeah,
really is weird how people feel that entitlement or something to you because they're literally talking to the owner who's like, I've just shelled out so much money to keep this fucking door open and you're asking me for a free what? It's like,
yeah. Or if they knew my insurance, or even the better one was, I had this whole water fiasco that I thought was crazy, that happened here at Boycott. And they try to make it look like we don't give out water. Well, first of all, if you really know anything about it, I would never deprive anyone of hydration, never in a
of course
billion years.
not.
Well, also when we were going to these liquor classes, they would tell you that water just makes you more drunk. Like the only thing that really helps with the hangover, not a hangover, with the not being inebriation process is time and
Mm-hmm.
literally going to the restroom. And that's number two,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not water, it's not coffee, it's not anything this so be it.
Really? See, I
Yeah.
didn't even know that.
Right. But it helps with the dehydration the next day, which is the hangover, right? And all that part.
Right.
But we learn all these things, and they made a big deal, and there was this whole little campaign of four people that tried to turn it into this big deal. Yeah, and my whole thing was, hey, have you ever tried to talk to me about it, like have a dialogue, or did you just go to my Facebook, or did you try something? Because if you ever dialogue with me, I will have an open conversation with you because I
You're the
love.
easiest person to get a hold of, honestly.
Well, more people can find me than I want them to be
I
honest.
know.
So I'm like, but if they never did it, and I said, then that wasn't about resolution, that was about attention. And
Yep.
when you really come from me from a place of genuineness, I will go that extra effort to make it happen. But when you try and strong arm me into doing what you want, you're never going to get that from Audrey. I
Yeah.
will be
And
like,
honestly, that's super healthy. I mean, so the therapy's working. It's like,
yeah, I've had to learn you can't fight fire with fire.
oh my God, I love it. Speaking of fire, that's perfect. We have our rapid fire
Well,
round.
let's go.
Are you ready, baby? Because you love this shit.
I love it. This is what I live for. Come on the moment. You ready?
So,
Give it to me.
okay, now this is based on you, not based on being a bar owner. Okay, so this is just Audrey's rapid fire. So, coffee or cocktails?
Cocktails. I hate
Okay.
coffee.
Your favorite karaoke song?
Keeper of the stars.
Which one?
Keeper of the stars.
Who sings it?
I believe it's Tracy Bird, I believe.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to
Very
check it out.
intense.
I haven't, okay, I like that. Yeah, we know your intensity and passion for things. Your dream guest to walk into Boycott or Title IX?
Pat Summit.
Ooh, how do we manifest that?
Yeah, I know. So if someone walked into Title IX, oh, God, that's a good one, you know. I don't
Gotta
really,
manifest.
you know what's hard is I'm not really a big fan girl of anything but Boycott. So it's kind of hard. Like I feel like Boycott's a pretty big celebrity, but I don't know. There's really no one to be honest. Oh,
Okay,
Billie Jean King here.
that's a good one.
So
That
I
is a
would say
good one.
Billie Jean King here.
Okay, I like it. A word that describes your energy right now.
Right now,
Yeah.
tired.
Oh, okay. Well, that goes with
That's
being an owner
today,
of three places. So,
but excited too. So
oh, of course, something people would be surprised to learn about you.
that I love poetry.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, does Boycott ever host? I haven't seen like deaf poetry. Dude, we
No.
got to bring that. I'll help.
Yeah, I love poetry.
Like an open mic
I
night.
do love open mics. I'm pretty big.
There's
I
some
do.
talented
Yeah.
people out there
I used
too.
to write. I used to write quite a bit of poetry, but yeah, that's probably something they'd be
I
surprised.
I'm totally surprised. I love that though. Um, Best advice you've ever received.
Uh, I've received some good advice. Hmm. I don't know. Just pretty much follow your dreams. It's always been my best advice that people given me.
I love that. And then your personal anthem right now.
My personal anthem. Just get it done.
I love that.
Get it
Hey,
done.
Audrey, you're gonna keep getting it done. I'm gonna keep coming in and spending money.
Yeah, I
And
love that.
and
I love
I'm
that.
really, really happy that you spent some time with me today. And I'm excited to have our listeners listen. And when they decide to, because they listen from all over, but if they come to Phoenix, they know exactly where they're coming.
Oh yeah, and you better get your butt in Dahlia real soon, okay? Because you're gonna
I
enjoy it.
100% will. I'll even text you with a picture of me there
Hey, let
if you're
me
not in
know,
the
man, and make
building.
sure. Do you eat seafood?
Love seafood.
Try our crudo, and then our lamb chops are fabulous as well.
Ooh, I love a good lamb chop.
I think it.
You put a little cumin and a little salt, pepper on
Hey,
there.
we got all the good stuff. Wait till you try it. But I'm gonna tell you this: keep doing what you're doing for the community. Keep being a voice, because the more voices we have, the stronger we are.
That's
So
that's
thank you for that.
exactly what I'm trying to do. What you're doing on 7th and what I'm trying to do here in our little corner is just living out loud and sharing and amplifying queer voices across the country. So and Canada and whoever else wants to talk because
Tell all the people out
it's
there.
just
Let's go.
important right now. We just really need good, happy spaces to share everyday queer heroes and you're one of them for
Thank
us.
you. That means a lot. We got that queer joy going right now. Is that what that is?
Hell yeah, it's always queer joy. I got tingles right now.
Well, thank you so much. Keep fighting the fight, okay?
I appreciate it, Audrey. Stay loud and stay proud, my sweet friend.
I will see you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you liked this episode, please hit the follow button and remember, sharing is caring. Until next week, stay proud, stay loud.